Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Tanu Wijaya with the lecture number 2006-02110034. Now, I will explain my project topic about the development of Islamic civilization in China. The process of the entry of Islam and its spread in China. First theory, Islam came to China brought by friends who were sent directly by the Prophet Muhammad SAW. The sending of several companions was indeed one of the missions of Prophet Da'wah. At the time, there were only two possibilities to get to China, namely by land or by sea. This hypothesis is further strengthened by the tomb of difference in the western part of China. Second theory. Some historians describe that the spread of Islam in China was carried out through merit. We can trace this historical evidence through their face which have similarities with the face of Arabs, Turks, Persians, Afghans, Uzbeks, or Pakistanis. Third theory, through the paper trade route. This route was used by Arab trade who traveled by sea. These traders sell their wares at ports located in southern China, especially in the Bandar Canton area. One of the historical evidence of the arrival of these merchants in the existence of ancient mosques in the Guangzhou area. Likewise, there are tombstones that have carvings with very beautiful Arabic calligraphy in that place. Development of Islamic civilization in China. Tang Dynasty 618 until 709 after decade. According to official records from the Tang Dynasty, as well as the same note in a brief history of the introduction of Islam to China, written by Chen Yuan, explained that the first envoy sent by Uthman bin Affan was around the second year of Emperor Yong's reign, or 30 at Hijriah, or 651 after decade. At this time, many Arab traders began to stop in China. The local people called him Tasih. In addition, there is also the nickname Yui, or an abbreviation of the name Yusuf, which has the same meaning as an Islamic broadcast with the name or title Sa'ad. Yusuf and Sa'ad themselves saw the example of a Muslim who broadcast Islam at the time. Shang Dynasty 960 until 1279 after decade. Zhou Guangyin, the founder of the Song Dynasty, known as Emperor Taisu, tried to restore the economic life of the population at the time. The emperor and his followers worked hard to attract Arab and Persian merchants by offering various facilities and guarantees of security. As a result, Arab and Persian merchants returned to visit trading ports along the China's coast every season. The great service to the governments of this trade can be separated from the role of a man of Arab. This can name Pu Shou Kang, because the governments implemented by the Song Dynasty government was great. There was an increased number of merchants visiting China from year to year. Yuan Dynasty 1279 until 1368 after decade. The last period of the Song dynasty saw the instability of the government with increasingly rampant corruption, coupled with the presence of Genghis Khan with a great army conquering various regions of Asia, including China, in 1127 after decade. The Song dynasty in the north fell under Genghis Khan's army. With the end of the Song dynasty, a new dynasty was formed under the under the rule of the Mongols called the Yuan dynasty. Also known as a tyrannical government, it was in the Yuan dynasty that Muslims got a special place in the government structure. This is due to the adversary politics implemented by the Mongol. Therefore, many important positions were successfully held by Muslims at the time. In fact, many mosques were built in several corners of the city during this dynasty era. This is the reason why during the Yuan dynasty there was a saying, wherever you are, under the sky, there are Muslims during the Yuan dynasty. Many intellectual figures emerged from the Islamic circle during the Yuan dynasty. Among them are two people who are famous in the field for military weapons or cannons, namely Ismail al-Shami and Alauddin al-Mufari. Both are immigrants and not a native of China. They were the first to use gunpowder. Although Muslims are well received for taking part in the government structure and developing Islamic symbols, Muslims cannot tolerate oppression and a tyrannical system of government. The struggle of Muslims in China is gaining momentum when they get support and assistance from the Han force. The Yuan dynasty fell at the hands of General Kozihin, which was marked by the appointment of Zhu Yuanchang as the first emperor of the Ming dynasty. Ming dynasty 1368 until 1644 after decade. Ming dynasty means brilliant or bright. Indeed, the naming of the dynasty is questionable for non-Muslim Chinese people, but for Muslims, the question is quite clear and have deep meaning. Emperor Zhu Yuanchang's love for Islam was clearly seen when his first decision after conquering Nanking city was to build a grand mosque. Even in later generation, the grand mosque was expanded and enlarged by Emperor Sheshung and earned the Little Chin Jue Mosque or Masjid of Pure Enlightenment. At this time, there was one Muslim figure who was respected not only by the Chinese people but also by several Asian countries, namely Admiral Cheng Zhou. Having the real name Zheng He, he is better known as Ma Sanbao, one of the Muslim names in China that is often used. Admiral Cheng Zhou has dedicated his life in the vast ocean. At least he had led 7 shipping expeditions, with his first voyage in 1405 after decade. The voyage he carried out really strengthened relation between China and the rulers of Southeast Asia, Africa, and Arabia. Manchu or Qing dynasty 1644 until 1912 after decade. Sorry, type. The emergence of the Manchu dynasty was none other than the chaos that occurred in the Ming dynasty before 1644 after decade. At the time, the general of the Ming dynasty, Wu Sanquet, was unable to deal with the chaos that occurred, which forced him to ask for help from the Qing dynasty troops from Manchuria to crush the rebels, but unfortunately, the Manchu troops actually won to dominate the Ming dynasty after successfully expelling the bandits. For the second time, General Lu Sanquet was helpless, and in the end the Ming dynasty collapsed at the hands of the Manchu force. As an effort by the Chinese Muslims to expel the power of the Manchu Empire, they sent envoys to Peking City to negotiate with the Manchus, but the effort still did not find common ground since then the resistance using weapons carried out by Muslims spread widely in various regions for more than 2 centuries. In the reign of the Manchu dynasty, Muslims didn't experience significant development. There was only oppression and effort to escape from the bondage of the Manchu rules. Republic China period 1912 after decade until present. During the reign of the Manchu or Qing dynasty, Islam experienced the most difficult times with the anti-Islamic policies implemented by the empire. As a result, many rebellion after rebellion occurred because history record the Manchu Empire had wiped out more than 2 million Muslims in just 12 years. Muslims can only breathe sing of relief when collapse of the Manchu dynasty is also a sign of the new era, Republican era of a more modern China's life. The collapse of the Manchu dynasty in the range of 1911 until 1912 after decade made Muslims get their rights back. Even in China's national constitution, as with the proclamation of the Kuomintang, it clearly guarantees freedom of religion. Muslims receive official recognition in its constitution that China accommodate and grant Muslim representative the right to occupy seats in the National Assembly elected by the Chinese Muslim community. Although a minority, Muslims at this time were seen as one of the important elements of the formation of a nationalist Republic of China, led by Dr. Sun Yat-sen. Therefore, Muslims played an active role in political life at the time. These conditions provide opportunities for Chinese Muslims to build and develop cultural, economic, and social aspects. Evidently, at the time, many Muslim scholars were born and Islamic education in China was also growing very rapidly. Thank you for the attention. I'm sorry with my false. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.